Hello and welcome to Geology, a channel dedicated to biology or the study of life. Today we are going to study about incomplete dominance. In case of incomplete dominance, as the name suggests, the dominance is incomplete or it is only partial. Let's see it and understand it with the help of an example of a plant Snapdragon where this phenomenon can be seen. The scientific name of this plant is Antirrhinum. Any genetic phenomenon is understood with the help of a cross. Let's do a cross here as well with the Snapdragon plants where we cross a pure red plant, red being a dominant characteristic, with a pure white flowered plant where white is a recessive characteristic. Let's denote our gene with capital R for red. So the genotype of the red plant is capital R, and that of the white plant is small r, small r. So the gametes that we get from the dominant parent is capital R, and from the recessive parent small r, small r. In the F1 generation, in the Punnett square, we find that the genotype of the offsprings are capital R, small r, which is understandable. However, the phenotype, instead of being red, what we normally observe in any monohybrid cross, here the offsprings all have pink flowers. So here the F1 generation is not following the Mendelian law or the Mendelian principles. So what exactly is happening here? Is there a blending, just like how watercolors blend? If you take red and white watercolor, they blend and form pink. Are the genes also blending? What is happening exactly? Let's understand it further with the help of the F2 generation. So when we do a selfing of the F1 plant, that is we take two F1 plants and we cross them, the F1 plants have pink flowers and their genotype we saw is capital R, small r. So the gametes that we get from each plant, there is half the gametes which are capital R and half the gametes which are small r. In the F2 generation, in the Punnett square, we get capital R, and the phenotype of that flower is red. Then we get capital R, small r, and the phenotypes of these plants is pink. And finally, we also get a small r, where the flowers are white. So in the F2 generation, we get red, pink, and white. All the three phenotypes express themselves again in the F2 generation. So which means that the parental phenotypes reappear. So what exactly happened here? The capital R allele was not able to completely dominate over the small r allele, and hence a new phenotype which is intermediate to that of the two parents got expressed. So the phenotypic ratio of such an inheritance is 1 red to 2 pink and 1 white, that is 1:2:1. In case of Mendelian monohybrid ratio, the phenotypic ratio is 3:1. Now looking at the genotypic ratio, capital R is to capital R, small r is to small r is 1:2:1 respectively, which is similar to the Mendelian genotypic ratio also. So which means that in incomplete dominance, both the phenotypic ratio as well as the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. There was a thought some time ago that incomplete dominance supports the blending theory. Now what is a blending theory? This is an old and obsolete theory which believed that in the inheritance of traits from two parents, the offsprings produce intermediate characteristics which are resulting from the blending of the parental characteristics. But in case of incomplete dominance, it is not so. How do we explain that? Because even though incomplete dominance superficially resembles the idea of blending inheritance, but it can still be explained using the Mendelian crosses, right, with a small modification. And here neither of the two alleles are completely dominant over the other, and thus the offspring resembles a mixture of the two phenotypes. And most importantly, the parental phenotypes reappear. So the pure red and the pure white characteristics reappear in the F2 generation. Had there been a blending, this would not have happened and pink would have become the persistent trait. Okay, so which means since red and white are reappearing, that means that the alleles are still following the law of segregation during the gamete formation. And the third thing, then why exactly, how are we getting the pink color? That is because the red allele produces anthocyanin, which is the red pigment, and this red pigment gets diluted in the heterozygous state, and therefore it appears pink because of the white background of the flower petals. So it is not that the genes have got blended or the characteristics have got blended. So even at the molecular level, we see that the red flower, the red color is formed by anthocyanin, which gets diluted. Okay. So how do we define incomplete dominance? So incomplete dominance is a phenomenon where the F1 generation exhibits characteristics intermediate to that of the parents. And this happens because the dominant allele does not fully dominate the recessive allele, which means neither of the two alleles are able to dominate over one another. I hope I have been able to explain this phenomenon to you. If you have understood it well, then you should be able to answer this question. And I would request that you mention the answer in the comment section. The ratio 1:2:1 in case of incomplete dominance is phenotypic ratio, genotypic ratio, both phenotypic and genotypic ratio, or none of the above. The cross is also given next to the question for you to have a look at it, and looking forward to see your answers in the comment section. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, comment and share. Thank you.